Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Hit the bell icon button so that you don't miss out any tutorial.
And let's go back to our theme and make sure that we activate and publish our child theme that we're working on right now, EDX child theme. Let's go ahead and publish that. Actually, I'm going to change my site identity to make sure I remember which one this is. Activate and publish this child theme. And that way we will always be looking at the correct theme when we're working on it. Go back to the home page. And the next thing I want you to notice is that although the title and some of these sans serif fonts, they look really good. Personally, I am not really a big fan of the serif font that we have as the body. I would prefer something a little clearer, a little bit bigger maybe. So I would like to add a couple of extra fonts. Also, if you scroll down a little bit farther, there's this block quote area. Go ahead and take a look at the pull quote. The pull quote and the solid color style quote, they have these quotation marks here, which it's kind of nice, but I think that we could make it a little bit more stylish. So I'm interested in adding a different kind of font to make that a little bit more stylish. The font for the body that I want to use would be a Google font. So let's go to fonts.google.com. I want a serif font, so we can check this categories box. Go ahead and remove all of the other ones except for serif. And then maybe I'd like to see what kinds of things are the most popular. So let's click the most popular right there. A couple of ones that look good to me are this one, Laura, and this one, Libra Baskerville. So we can go ahead and collect both of those. Click font family at the bottom, and then let's customize it so that we can grab all of the different fonts, both bold, regular, italic, etc. for all of those fonts. Let's go back to embed, and from embed you can see there is a URL right here, HTTPS fonts, etc., that goes all the way to the end, 700 italic. So that is what we're going to need to copy. And we want to go to our functions file to onqueue this with our other styles. So let's head back over to our functions file. Let's head back over to our functions file. Make sure you're going to the right one, EDX child theme. And then inside here, right after we onqueue our style for this one, right after we onqueue our theme style, our child theme style, we can do another WP onqueue style. And we can call this one EDX child theme serif. And then we need to give it the source, which is going to be that URL that we just copy pasted. The next thing we need to give it is dependencies, and there are no dependencies for this one, so we can just give it an empty array. The next thing we give it is a version, so we can give it the date again. And the last thing is optional. It's what kind of media it would be for, screen or print or all, but it's an optional command. It's an optional argument, so we can just end this like that. This is going to be for our serif font. And the next one we want is I want to add Font Awesome, because Font Awesome has some pretty awesome icons. So let's add Font Awesome. We can do the same thing, WP onqueue style. We'll say EDX child theme Font Awesome. The next argument is going to be the source, and I'll show you how to get the source in a minute. It also has no dependencies. And then we can give it a version number of today also. Okay, now to get the source for Font Awesome, if you go to the Font Awesome homepage, and if you go to Start on the Font Awesome homepage, it doesn't really give you a way to get the URL directly from here. I mean, you could log in You could use your email to create a kit of your own, and they might give you a link in your email. But one thing that you can do is you can search for Font Awesome CDN. CDN means Content Delivery Network. And if you find a link from cdnjs.com, this one has the most updated version of Font Awesome that we can find. And then all you need to do is just grab probably the minimum one right there. It's version 5.11.2 at this recording. So let's copy that. Go back over here and paste that in here. So now we should have both our Serif, which is Libre Baskerville, and Laura installed. We should have both Libre Baskerville and Laura available to us, and we should also have Font Awesome available to us. So now what we need to do is we need to figure out where to put those in our style.css. So if you click on style.css, we're going to need to find a few places to put this. So the first thing that I would do in order to find which fonts we actually need to work with are you come over here and you can right click on any element in the browser, go to inspect, and this will pop up your developer tools over here on the right, and you can see the different elements. As you hover over these things, you can see them in the browser being highlighted. The orange part is the margin, the blue part is the content, green part would be padding, etc., etc. And then we can look in the styles. There's a styles part right here, a styles menu, a styles section right here. And we can scroll down here and we can find the part that actually has the font family. So if I turn off this font family, if I deselect it, yes, that is the one that is affecting this font that I want to change. So I can find this very unique text right there. It's called non-breaking space override. So if I copy that, and if I go to my Visual Studio Code, I can go into the 2020 styles, and then I can find it. Paste. If I look for non-breaking space override, I can find it. The first one is defining the font family, but there's only 3, so we can go down. The second one is saying that every entry content should use that. And then the third one is showing that every widget should also use that same font. So what we can do is we can go back to the second one. We can copy all of this code from here and paste it into our style.css. We're not going to need to worry about this letter spacing. And then we can give it the names of our fonts that we're importing from Google, Laura and Libre Baskerville. And then let's go back to the style.css of 2020. Let's go to the third part, the third font families area, which has the widget content. Let's copy all of those widget content rules. Let's go back over to our style.css in our child theme, put a comma at the end of this, and paste all of those other rules in there. Let's save that, and let's go back to our site and see if that has affected what this is going to look like. And look at that. It changed it to just what we wanted. Now our font family is Laura. So if you inspect this again, you can scroll down here, and now we can see we've got Laura and Libre Baskerville in there. If I delete Laura, then it'll change to Libre Baskerville, which is the second one in line right there. So now you can change, you can choose between Libre Baskerville or Laura for that font. The next thing I want to do is I want to take a look at the pull quotes. So I'm going to copy this comment here and paste it down below here. And I'm going to change this to pull quotes. So now we're going to style the pull quotes with some Font Awesome. Let's go back over here and let's right click this element to inspect it and see what is actually affecting that character. If you click the arrow here, you can find the other elements contained within this element. And as we hover over the one that says before, you can see that that actually is the content that's being controlled here. So you can see right here in WP block pull quote before, it has the content that we're looking for. If you deselect that, it turns that all off. So since I just turned off the before, nothing is showing up. I'm going to need to refresh the page in order to make that show up again. Let's go ahead and click that again, inspect. Open the figure class, go to before. And so what we're going to need to grab is we're going to need to grab this rule right here. WP block pull quote before. Copy that over to our style.css. Okay, so inside this WP block pull quote before, let's go ahead and type some styles that we want to give it. I know that I want to give it a font family of Font Awesome 5 free. I want the font weight to be 900 because this is how we are able to access the free fonts in Font Awesome 5. You have to give it a font weight of 900. I'm going to want the font size to be 2 rem. I want the padding to be 10 pixels. And I want the content to be a quote. So we have to do \F10E. Save that. And let me show you how to find all of this information about Font Awesome. If you go back over to the Font Awesome page, I am going to link this CSS pseudo elements area page. And if you read in here a little bit, you can see that everything that's using Font Awesome free needs to use font weight 900. And then we have some content, which is the icon that we're looking for. Down here, the free plan requires 900. If you have a regular pro plan, then you can use 400. And then these are some other ones down here. But the free plan is always going to be 900. You can see that right there. The free plan is always going to be 900. If we search for icons, we can search for quote. And the one that I'm looking for is, I believe, this one, quote left. And then the code right here, the Unicode F10D, that's the actual content that you need to add to the CSS. Or if we want, I think actually the one I want is quote right. That's the one that I'm using right now. F10E. So we copy that and we can put that into our code right here. F10E. If we save all of that and go back to our browser and check it out, refresh the page. Now you can see it's a much nicer styled quote right there.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up and share it. Also check out amazing discounts and offers on our premium courses in the description below.